Here's what I will say about being off social media is
Yeah.
I'm amazed at how quickly my brain adapted back to working properly.
Right.
I thought it would take longer because when I took it off my phone a bunch of times, I still would end up checking my, like, you go to check your phone or like, I am just amazed at how much more time I have in my day. I mean,
Wow.
so much that I'm cleaning out my contacts file on my computer because I'm running.
Having 3-hour daydreams about the Richard Linklater film your life could have been.
I read the other day Bob Odenkirk's book, Comedy Drama, it's called. I've had that book sitting on my shelf for, I reckon, 3 or 4 months. And the other day I just picked it up at home and read the book. And it's so good. It's so funny, that book, and it's so interesting. And it's like thousands of good tweets in a row joined together. That's basically what a book is, guys. You should get into it. They're really good. But that's what I kind of realized was the amount of the equivalent of like going through Twitter looking for something good versus going through this book looking for something good. Every paragraph of this book is something good and interesting. Whereas like the equivalent would be having to flick through like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20 pages to get to that one good thing and then flick
It's
through
like when
another.
you read a celebrity's memoir and it's like, where's the bit where they slept with their co-star?
Yeah.
You flick through the first 30, but I don't need to hear about where you grew up.
So and somebody said to me, they said, oh, are you, like, do you have an alt account or whatever? Are you like checking in? I said, no, that's the great thing about it is I've stepped away entirely. And like, so I still exist there in like, my management are going to run it and you'll still be able to see stuff that I make there and all those sort of things. But I was just amazed. I really underestimated the amount of time it was taking in my life. And the way that you realize is, again, to use that like smoking analogy, it's like that person who like suddenly realizes they've got like, or they can walk up a hill or they can realize that they've got $200 in their pocket at the end of the week because they've stopped doing it. I felt like time-wise, I've had $200 in my pocket at the end of the week because I just suddenly am like, the amount of times where I've like, because I still get up in the morning and read the newspapers and do all that sort of stuff, do my work, and it'll be like 7:30 in the morning, and I'm like, well, I've read all the newspapers. I guess I'll take the dog for a walk or go for a swim or something. Like, whereas like normally you just then spend an hour and a half, scrolling on the phone, like looking at stuff. But the other thing is the thing that I've realized is that it's very hard to spend any time at all on social media without seeing something that makes you feel negative, right? Like it can be someone's opinion that you disagree with. You still see that when you're reading the newspapers and stuff, but like, so like I read a Joe Hildebrand column about the Victorian election that still made me mad. But what I loved was it made me mad, and then I walked away from it and got on with whatever else I was doing on the day. I didn't go on Twitter and see what everyone's responses to it were. I didn't feel like I had to have a response to it. I realized that it could just be like, oh, that was dumb. He's a dumb guy. And then just like didn't need to share that with anybody. I could just get on with my day. And sometimes it's not even like that. It's seeing someone you like say something or get outraged by something or over the top about something that you're like, oh, I just didn't even need to see them be someone I like, be that angry about something. That was having an effect on me. There's been a lightness in my world, like in the 3 weeks, 4 weeks that I've been off it, that is, I've loved.
You're making it sound great. I just think that I would need someone to take over because I need one for work. Yeah. It's like, I don't think my management, are you paying them extra? Are they taking a fee? Is it like, have they hired a digital?
No, they see this is, and again, I understand this is a privileged position, right? Because I get the best of both worlds. I get to exist there, like, so that, when we plug Tofop, if we put up a clip, like one of the great things about being at Listener is going to be that they will have like a social media producer who's going to cut up clips of the show. We're going to have regular things to put out. They'll still appear on all my social media, but somebody else will be coordinating that on my behalf. And so you have more time to make things, and you have to spend less time doing the admin of it. And I absolutely know that I have that's a luxurious position to be in, that I have somebody else who can do that on my behalf. Not everybody listening to this can if they need it for their work, can have the luxury to do that. So A, there's that. B, I said to them, I said, if you want to put it in other places, because the truth is I was stuck, right?
So someone needs to take that line just out of context. If someone wants to put it in other places, I'm all for it.
But I was stuck because I'm like 48 years old. Like, we've talked about this a lot. I was only ever going to be on from now on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. That was it. Like, I wasn't going to be able to move on to TikTok or whatever the next thing, that Be Real or whatever the next thing that's going to come along. But now I feel like I'm like, oh, well, if you've got a clip from my, stand-up special that you want to put out on social media, I don't give a shit where you put it. Put it like on, Truth Social. I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't really worry me because I have nothing to do with it now. And the weight that it has taken off me, maybe some people would be curious. What I've been amazed is how, like, I mean, I've had the book that's come out. I've got the television show. I've got like the stand-up special that's going to be on TV. You've got to be willing to walk away from seeing something positive as well, right? So this is the biggest sacrifice you're making is, we all know we can live without the negative. Can you live without the positive? Do you need the positive so much that you're willing to put up with the negative? Well, so far, I am very pleased to say that I have not missed the positive at all.
Yeah. But what you have missed is videos of dogs watching TV.
Yeah, see, right? What have I missed? Nothing. Like, I don't feel like there's a hole in my knowledge. That's the other thing. I don't feel like, everyone's like, hey, there's been like a world war. And I was like, I didn't see that. I wasn't on Twitter.
To see the full video, join our Patreon.
Patreon.com/Tofop.